Hi guys, it's Amy with A2Z Stamping, and today I'm going to do a card for you using the Above the Clouds stamp set. This is one of the brand new stamp sets in the 2019-20 annual catalog. It's a photopolymer stamp set, so that means they're the clear stamps. And I love this one. I thought it was so cute. It's got the hot air balloons. It does have a coordinating punch that cuts out the balloons, so that's a lot of fun. And I need a bunch of graduation cards. I just used up all of them on this year's graduates, and I'm trying to make 1 or 2 a month so I have enough for next year. I know I'm already thinking ahead, but I came up with this really cute card and I wanted to show you. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is a little watercoloring, sort of. All right, so I'm gonna start with this piece of Whisper White cardstock. And let's see, I need to think for a second. I think I need a scrap piece of Whisper White also. So let me grab one out real quick, since I don't seem to have one on my desk. Okay, so I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock here, and this is cut at, let's see, 3 3/4 by 5. All right. And I'm going to be using Poppy Parade as my color. So I'm going to actually pop that open. And I'm going to leave it like this. And I have my Poppy Parade re-inker. So the re-inkers can be used for a lot more than just re-inking. And I'm actually going to just drop a drop right on there. I don't need any more than that, just a drop. Then I'm going to grab one of my Aqua Painters. And I'm going to squeeze some water. Squeeze. There we go. Do a couple drops, and I'm going to swish that around. And I'm actually going to stick, I just have a little piece there so I don't make a mess. Okay, so I'm going to squish this around, and I'm just going to do a light, or not light, but I'm just going to go like this. I just want, there we go. I think that looks just how I want it, like this. All right. And on my scrap paper, I want to run this on just to get all the color off. Come on. I need to wipe that off. I got some on the side. There we go. Come on. Just run it until it brushes clean. All right, that looks good. I'm going to stick the lid back on. And I'm going to actually open this like a regular ink pad. And I'm going to set this aside to dry. Okay. So I'm going to set that aside because I want it to be completely dry before I go on to the next part. All right. So next I want to stamp. And so just grab just a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock. And I'm going to, actually I need this again. I'm going to use, I want to do the hot air balloon. So I'm going to use this solid piece, and then I'm going to do, let's see, this one right here. Let me grab those. Get them on a block. Okay, so I want to stamp this guy, so I'm going to just ink it up in the Poppy Parade. And I'm going to stamp off once because I don't want it totally dark. I'm just going to stamp it. Let me think for a second. I am going to stamp it just like this. Okay. Now it is meant to be kind of a watercolor effect, so don't think there's something wrong with your stamp. It's meant to be like that. So I'm going to clean that one off. Sorry guys, I was thinking for a second. All right, then I'm going to grab the outline of the balloon right here, and I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp that in the full. Let's see, get right over the top. Actually, there we go. There, perfect. And let me clean that off. Okay. All right, and I'm going to set this aside just for a second. That's all the Poppy Parade we're going to be doing, so I'm going to close this up. All right, then I have a little tiny piece of basic black cardstock, and it is very tiny. This is 2.5 by 1/2 inch. And I want to stamp on this, but I'm going to emboss it in Whisper White because I want the white really to stand out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my VersaMark ink, And I'm using the sentiment, you're off to great places. So let me just, actually, let me get a smaller block here. Line this up. There we go. You're off to great places. So I'm going to ink that up in the VersaMark. And I want to stamp it off to the right-hand side. Sorry, I don't want to get my head in the picture. Let's get right over the top. Stamp. It might be a little bit crooked, but that's okay. Let me clean that off. Okay, close up my VersaMark. And then I'm going to grab my white embossing powder. And we want to cover that whole thing. So pour it on there. Tap, tap, tap. There we go. See, you're off to great places. All right. Okay, and I'm going to get this back into my little container. Okay. Close this. All right, then I need to grab my heat tool. So I'm actually just going to let this sit right here. Grab my heat tool. Turn it on. Oops. Actually, I'm going to grab this so I don't burn my fingers. So I'll just leave it on there until, we'll see in a second when it starts to change. There it goes. Do you see that? Starting with the Y. There it goes. You're off to great places. And that looks pretty good to me. Okay, put this back. Okay. Cool, right? So that's a good way, because if I could stamp this in white ink, but it doesn't show up quite as good as when you emboss it. All right, so let's go back to our balloon now. And I'm going to grab that balloon punch. And we are going to punch this guy out. So I'm going to line it up best I can here. There will be a little bit of a white border. I'm going to punch. Okay, and it does punch out these other little pieces that I don't need. But I have a piece of basic black, just a scrap. And I want just the little basket here to go along. Let's go like this. There we go. Okay. Here's our little basket. All right. Now we can put our card together. So let's grab this back again. It should be pretty dry now. And I'm going to grab a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock. This is cut at 4 1/4 by 11. I love Poppy Parade. It's a happy color. Fold that in half. Next, we're going to stick on this. The watercoloring a background is so easy, and it just looks really cool. Oops, what just happened to my... Uh-oh. You see that? Come on. There we go. Gotta fix my adhesive. Sometimes I go a little too fast. Oh, is this one going to be broken? Seriously. Come on. You guys are witnessing. Sometimes the adhesive won't cooperate. Okay, it looks like I just need a different one. We're just going to change it out. So I'm going to grab another refill. And I will fuss with that later to see what the issue is. Pull the little yellow tab out. Snap it in. There we go. Oops, let's turn it the right way. There we go. All right, so this guy goes right on the front. Like so. Then I'm going to take my, let's see, this is going to go about right like so. I just want to make sure I've got it where I want it. I'm going to take my balloon and I'm going to stick some dimensionals on the back of my balloon. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Come on. 1, 2. Oh my goodness. Come on, dimensionals. They're only hard when the camera's rolling. You do know that, right? All right. So this guy is going to go right like this. Oops. What is that? Something sticky on my balloon. Let's get that off. Probably something from my table. Okay, and let's make sure this guy has a place to stick down. All right, then we're going to take this the little tiny bucket, and I'm going to stick a mini dimensional. I'm so grateful for mini dimensionals. You can cut apart your big ones, but if I don't have to. Okay. And because we have to have the little basket on the bottom. Oops. Oh, for crying out loud. There we go. There we go. Our little basket. And then to finish it off, I have these, the epoxy, I think these are called the Droplets. They come in clear, and there's some different ones. Anyway, they're listed at the bottom of the screen. And I'm just going to stick some of these on here to add some interest. Let's go. One here. Let's do some small ones. I like adding embellishments to my cards. All right, and that is my card. Isn't that so sweet? You're off to great places. I think that's a really cool card. And this watercolor technique on the back can make a cool background for anything. And here's one I did earlier, but you could use this on all kinds of cards. And see, they're a little bit different, but still pretty cool. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks, guys. Bye.